Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of If You Ain't Laughing, You Ain't Living podcast. I'm your host, comedian Doc, and I am here tonight. I'm elated to share some information, and I'm doing something a little different tonight. Tonight it's just me. I normally have some guests sharing some good stuff with you, but tonight I've been led just to run in this one on my own and share what I got for you. So just hang in here with me and let's ride this thing out together. First, I want to say thank God for allowing me this platform opportunity to get on here and share information and to show love and laughter in the midst of it all. Once again, the show is called "If You Ain't Laughing, You Ain't Living" for a reason, because I'm a comedian first of all, but most importantly, I find humor in most some of the strangest situations, some of the most serious conversations. I can still find some humor in it, not disregarding the energy and the sentiment behind the situation or conversation, but it's just who God made me. So if we say something that's funny, laugh. If we don't, it's okay. But we're talking tonight about a couple of things, and this is just something God placed on my heart to share with people because I'm a person that cares. I care about people. I care about the well-being of people, and I love people. And that being said, I was reflecting back earlier in my career when I used to be a director for a couple of juvenile facilities. One was in South Florida, and one was in North Florida, actually Tallahassee, Florida. I was a director for two juvenile facilities up there for troubled young men. My passion I have a passion for redirecting young, troubled men because they're a huge staple in our community. You know, the man is made to be strong. A man is, by design, and this is no disrespect to the women, but men are expected to be leaders. That's just the way we have been created, and that's the way the world views us as being a leader, being the head in our household. Not saying that's dictatorship or that's being a womanizer. It's just by design we are programmed to to lead. And that being said, that's I believe that's what my passion is, to help the young men that typically don't have fathers, that typically don't come from a good background, broken homes, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm saying that to say I reflected back to two of the programs that I oversaw, and we had some of the most profound missions in our program, and it has literally changed my life forever. So I want to share with you these seven codes. There were seven codes. We call them seven codes of conduct. But before I talk about the seven codes, I reflect back on these all the time because I was a young man myself in that position, in those positions, uh, as a leader, and I was able to learn from these same codes of conduct and ethic that I was implementing in my facility, that I was training people, that I was teaching, and I was walking in it as well, which it gave me a lot of integrity, and it gave me an outlook of how things really are with these seven things that we should all possess. We should all have these things that we are examining ourselves for. So I'm going to get into it. These are called the seven codes of conduct. These were literally our 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 governing body of our institute or institution that we taught and trained and lived by, and it works to us individually to this day. For me especially, the one code, the first one is a reality. And you all, I'm sure for the listeners, you all can reflect back, and someone has to agree with some of these things that I'm saying. One of the first code is reality. And when you are finding your way in life and you trying to grow and figure things out, one of the most important things that you have to do is face reality. You have to face reality, and reality is a big part of growth. If you live in a fictitious mindset, you live in a false world sense of falsehood in your mind, that is a downfall that will literally take you off track from where your future could be by design. Um, it's important to be a realist, to be a reality person. It's important to know your situation, know you who you are as a person, and if you need things that need to be readjusted within yourself, adjust them because facing that reality, if it needs some fine tuning to be a better person, then absolutely you should fine tune those things by seeking help, by turning to elderly people, to the church, or mentorship, or whatever avenues that you can take to get to a place where you do not deny the truth, because that's all reality is facing the truth, facing the truth about your situation, facing the truth about who you are as an individual, facing the truth. Your reality is absolute truth about who you are, and where you want to be. So I want to encourage people, if you have not done this, take a moment right now, reflect back, think to where you are now and where you want to go, and face reality in that situation. All right? Know what it is, know the truth, and live by the truth. And that way you can line yourself accordingly and you won't miss your mark for when it's time for you to rain blessings on people and people rain blessings on you. Second one I want to share with you tonight is respect. This is a huge one. Respect is the ticket to help. Respect is a ticket to advancement. Respect is a ticket for opportunities, limitless opportunities in this life that we live. If you have respect for yourself, and I do mean absolute respect for yourself as a governing body of your character, then you must have respect for other people. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way to run from it. If you're not a respectful individual in your heart, and if you don't operate with respect and love, they're interchangeable to me, because if I respect you, I'm definitely going to show love to you. But you have to be a respectful person. You have to operate with respect to people. You have to respect your situation. You have to respect the people around you. This is just a huge piece of humanity. This is a huge piece of the puzzle of life that will again help navigate you through the challenges of life that you're gonna go through, whether you want to or not. You're gonna go through them, and respect will be able to pull you out and put you in position when other things can't. So I just want to make sure that we take inventory and make sure that we're respecting ourselves first. Now, here's the thing about respect, real quick. Sometimes you may think that you're being respectful because of how you were raised yourself, your upbringing, and that don't necessarily mean that your level of respect to yourself is actually a good way of respecting yourself. So I hear people say it all the time. If you respect yourself first, then you can respect other people. But the fact of the matter is, you actually may not really know what true respect is. So make sure that respect that I'm telling you that you should have involves care and concern for yourself. It involves you loving on yourself and building yourself up respectfully. It involves respecting other people in such a manner that you do the same thing for them. That you govern your tongue, that you be kind to people, that you help people. These are all forms of respect slash love that we are required to give, and we to ourselves first, and you can share with other people with no problem. So we cover reality and respect. Those two R's will take you somewhere. The next one I'm gonna share with you is responsibility. Responsibility is a word that in today's generation, especially from my point of view and from what I witness, it's hard for this generation to take accountability and be responsible for their actions. Well, I hope that who's ever listening to this podcast this evening, that you share with your people, you share with your loved ones, you share with your friends, you share with your neighbors how important it is to be responsible and accountable for your actions. Responsible in school. Get your work done. Pay attention in class. Responsible when you playing sports. Be a team player. Don't be selfish. Responsible at home if you got a wife and kids. Show love to your family and be assistant to your spouse and be an assistant to your children, and make sure that you're there for them in every way possible, emotionally, mentally, physically. Be responsible in that manner that you'll be able to reciprocate that to other people. Responsibility is a huge piece to the puzzle of life, and again, building the best person and the best version of you that you could ever be is by being responsible and taking accountability for you and for your actions and for your situation. So I'll move on to the next one, and that's communication. We want to talk about communication for a minute. This is a tricky one because sometimes there's a spirit inside of you sometimes just don't want to communicate properly, and normally it's just it's an emotion. It's based on emotion. If somebody make you upset and angry, if you haven't been delivered from using profanity and your anger get the best of you, the way you're going to communicate that is not going to be good because you're going to probably respond by cussing somebody out, hurting their feelings, degrading them, or starting with the verbal with vulgar language and then end up physical because you have no governor. You don't know how to communicate well. So this ticket right here, this is a ticket. Like a winning lotto ticket worth priceless amounts of money to you by simply knowing how to communicate. Did you know that if you communicate effectively, you can pretty much get anywhere you want to be in life? And I'm talking about the old saying is charity starts at home, but sometimes that home might not have the charity in it. So I always paid attention to people. I always paid attention to how it works for other people, and I kind of emulated that a lot of times because unfortunately for me, I didn't grow up in a two-parent household, and I didn't grow up in such a good environment. So a lot of these traits and these characteristics that I have in me now, I actually picked up along the way from paying attention. And you can learn that way. You can learn how to communicate effectively by simply listening and stop talking so much. By paying attention to older people that you know uh, are decent folks that are carry themselves well. Just listen how they talk. Pay attention how they communicate or interact with other people, and you can learn from that because I certainly did. And today, I use the best methods of communication that I can because I love for people to come to me, and I love going to people, and I love being a service to people. So it's important to know how to communicate. It's important to know that you're not always right. Your communication is not always effective. Uh, and part of communication that people don't like to acknowledge is being a listener. Being a good listener is a piece of effective communication. Households are broken down. Divorces are just out of control. Children and parents and families don't have good relationships. And one main ingredient to those demises and those unfortunate situations are lack of communication. They don't know how to talk to each other. They don't know how to listen to each other. They don't know how to be patient with each other. These are all forms of communication. They don't know how. So I'm encouraging you to learn how to effectively communicate, which involves listening and being a responsible, respectful listener, should I say? Not listening with your own agenda, because sometimes we listen, but we already have in our mind festered up what we want to say that it's right here in our throat. It's right there because I'm hearing you, but I'm not listening to you because I'm ready to go ahead and give it to you. I'm ready to cuss you out with every alphabet on the bulletin board because I have not learned how to effectively communicate. So this is a practice that I'm encouraging you to do as well. Practice it. It takes practice to get these things down packed. That's communication. Now I'm gonna share this fourth one with you. Excuse me, I think we're on the fifth one. I'm gonna share this fifth one with you, and I think you're gonna like this one. This fifth one is negotiation. Negotiation. Yep. That's a word that we don't really hear too often, but it's something that we all will be a part of if you haven't already. Negotiation is a part of our everyday living. Most people that own their own homes, they had to negotiate a price. They negotiated with the banks. They negotiated with the realtors. They negotiated with the owners if it wasn't built from the ground up. Even if it was built from the ground up, they negotiated everything in that process, from material costs to labor costs to time and effort, and all these things are negotiables that we every day we have to go do. You even negotiate when you go to the grocery store a lot of times. Comparison shopping, coupons are a negotiating tool. They're negotiable. That means you are trying to come to a real settling number or compromise to to get what you want. That's effective communicating, but it's negotiating as well. When you go to the car lot, and everybody knows this, the first thing on your mind when you go to a car lot is, I'm not paying full price. Nope. I'm not giving no money down. That's a lot of times. That's what we think about. I ain't giving them nothing down. My credit this, and then they gonna take it or leave it. I got $1,000 in my pocket, and I know the car costs $116,000, but I got $1,000, and that's it. I ain't giving them not a penny more. We go with those attitudes, those energies. So that means that you already aware of the importance of negotiation. You just don't know how to effectively do it. So I just want to tell you another thing to take inventory of is how to negotiate. Negotiating is a part of life. You have to negotiate with your children sometimes. Take your medicine. If you take it like you're supposed to, then when you get better, I'm gonna take you skating. Negotiate. uh, Even with your spouse, honey, I appreciate you for doing that for me. I know I couldn't get to it. If you could just do that for me, and then by next Friday, I like to take you out on the weekend, just me and you, just to hang out because you've been so good to me. So negotiating is a part of our lives, whether you want to agree with it or not. If you don't agree with that, something wrong with you, because you negotiate from the smallest things to the big things. Anybody ever been to the flea market or a shop, or even to an auction? These are all negotiating places that we do to get something that we want. Negotiating just in our DNA, everybody. There's a few of you that, because you don't know how to negotiate, you fall for the okie doke first time around. People see you coming a mile away, because once you start talking and they figure out that you don't know how, they'll take advantage of you. So tell Doc thank you, and I'm going to tell you you're welcome now. Learn how to negotiate effectively, and by using all these previous conducts that I shared with you, reality and respect, responsibility, effectively communicate, you should be able to negotiate anything you want to and come out in a pretty good place. This next one, we're going to talk about education for a moment. And I'm just not talking about formal education. I'm talking about education. Life is a school. Let me say that again. Life itself is a school. The moment that you are born and you come into this life, this earthly realm that we live in, you are now in school. You are now in position where you're going to start being educated one way or another. You will be a part of the education process. That's just what it is. So my thing about the education for you today in the conduct that I'm speaking of is to learn how to educate yourselves on every level, and to apply your education, apply what you learn to benefit not just yourselves, but others, to benefit your community, to benefit your family, of course, but don't make it all about you, because once you get this education, life skills education, communication skills education, school education, formal education, higher learning education, on the job training, everything has education attached to it. You can go to a funeral and learn something literally by sitting in a funeral, because education is a part of our makeup. Without that, this world would be in shambles, because we need somebody that knows something to help us get to where we need to be. So I want to spend a few seconds just to tell you that when you hear the term education, the word education, don't just associate that with school. Don't associate that with books and computers and Don't associate that with a higher education into degrees and things like that, because although those things are good, and in some ways those things are mandatory, life is an educator. The world we live in is a school. And the moment you wake up, the moment you walk outside your door, you are in class. Class is in session, as they say, because your mind is designed to always learn and learn and learn and to share what you've learned. So just remember, keep the education at the forefront of everything and be willing to educate others, because it's not about you. Be willing to share what you learn. You know, the worst thing that a person can do is know something and not be willing to share it. And unfortunately for that person, he don't know, but God is not pleased with that. And God will, a lot of times, as they say, throw a monkey wrench in, which means stop they process, stop they program, stop what they're doing, because they're selfish, prideful people, and God does not agree with that. So make sure when you learn something, be willing to share it. Your education, be willing to share something on the job, be willing to share something in the store, be willing to share any piece of information that will help someone else be educated in whatever it is that you're talking about. All right? Man, we on a roll tonight because I feel like I'm warming up with some good stuff, man, because I feel like I'm helping somebody. So we talked about reality, respect, responsibility, negotiation, education. Now we're gonna talk about love. And I was thinking, man, how can I talk about something that people already know of? So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on the word love, because we are we were born, we were created in love. And for the believers out here that are listening to me, uh, I'm not a religious show, although I am a man of God. I am an elder. I am a preacher. I am one who loves the Lord. My show, my podcast is not a religious podcast. What it is a clean podcast where I'm gonna continue to show love, and I'm gonna continue to share, and I'm gonna continue to reciprocate everything that God has given me to the people. But I'm gonna tell you about love. Love is a master. Love will conquer all. I know some of you've heard that, but believe it. When you have love in your heart for people, for places, for animals, for things, when you just have love genuinely placed in your heart, just for the elements of life, you're going to have a blessed life. Things will just happen in your favor because God knows that you have a pure, genuine love for everything and everybody. The critical thing about the word love is it's also it's so fragile. Love is so fragile that you have to handle with care. And I'm gonna go to the relationship part of this thing, because that's what most people, when they hear the word love, they automatically think relationship. So let's go there for a second. When you love in relationship spaces, know that type of love that you should have for everyone in your heart, in that space of love, it needs to be genuine, and it needs to be unbiased and without restrictions and without contingencies. You need to have love that's just flat out pure love. Not I love you if you do this. Not you love me because I do this for you. Not love because we're in a good position. Not that type of love. Just pure, genuine love because you are that type of person. And make yourself lovable. I say this in church. I say this to people I talk to on the street. I say this, make yourself lovable. Because when people are able to feel a presence and see an aura on you that's welcoming, you're already on the right track for someone to show you some love, for someone to give you some kindness, someone to help you. If you don't believe me, do a test. Do a trial test for yourself. Find out. Be mean to somebody and see what it gets you. Or do it on purpose, just to see if what Doc is saying is true. Be mean to someone, and see what it gets you. And then, in that same exercise, show massive amounts of love to people and see what it gets you. And then the next episode that we talk about love, or if we share some of this again down the road, have this conversation in the room, I would love for somebody to tap in and say, Doc, I remember when I did the exercise and I found out love wins every time. Love wins every time, people. Uh, and when you do, love just make your household at peace. Genuine love. Again, not with contingencies. If a lot of problems that we have in as people in the world today, we have love with contingency. We have love with with if you do this, if you do that. We have love tapped into a space that requires uh, work to do to receive it the way I want you to receive it. So basically, you buying love in a lot of ways, and unfortunately, that's just the way it is. I get it. A lot of guys that I've talked to, and a lot of guys that I know that are married, been married for a long time, there haven't been many conversations I've heard them talk about their relationship with their wives without it involving them buying something for her, or trying to continue to purchase her love. Well, if it works for them, hey, I ain't here to judge. All I'm saying is I appreciate the love I have in my household with my wife and my children because it's genuine. We don't have any type of platform where if I don't do this, I won't get that, and vice versa for my wife. So we don't do that. So I just want to tell you, make sure that you take love and you take a moment and realize that how powerful love is, so you can handle with care. All right. These things that we're talking about, man, I'm telling you, these are healthy ways of living. And I felt the need to just take time tonight on this podcast for myself to just hang out with you all and share this information because it works. It works. Exercise it, practice it, share it with somebody else. It works. I explained to my children a while back, and as I wrap this cast up, I will share a quick testimony. Um, I come from a pretty dark place, and I come from a pretty rough lifestyle. And I tell you, it's hard to identify who you really are as an individual when you come up with so much trauma in your life and so much trauma around you, and you exposed to so much not so good situations, and you end up being in not so good situations. How can a person find love into that? How can I be responsible? How can I communicate effectively? How can I be responsible? These things were all challenges for a young man like me uh, because of I was born into that type of environment. Excuse me. So I'm saying that to say this. I also stand before you as a witness to when you get educated and when you show love. uh, that there's something good that's gonna come in. It's gonna run you down. It's gonna be some people that God already got set up to come see about you. It's gonna be some blessings, meaning it's gonna be goodness that's gonna come and run you down because you are learning how to exercise some of these methods and these traits and characters that I'm sharing with you tonight. So don't hesitate. Don't wait for a perfect time to start showing love. Don't run from learning how to better communicate, educating yourself, being more responsible. And then if you have children, this will blossom. Good, healthy children, because we're parents, so we're nurturing these kids and we're training them and teaching. But we are doing this so they can go out there and take off and do their own thing. So it's important to give them these traits, give them these seven uh, codes of conduct, if you will, that would start them out on a great journey to their life. Because just like you ran into hard times, one way or another, they will. I don't care how much we make cushion for them, how much cushion they have financially. I don't care how much benefits we have in the family. It does not matter. It's inevitable that they won't face their own atrocities. It's inevitable that they won't face their own trouble and their own demises, and their heart won't go through trouble and pain. It's inevitable. So why not exercise these codes so they can witness it, what it looks like. They can know how to use it themselves. Again, I'm putting emphasis on reality. I'm putting emphasis on love because being a realist and being real about who you are in your situation and sharing real, genuine love to people, it will surpass so much pain and trouble that you'll go through. So before I go, I enjoy just sharing this with you. I hope that someone gets something out of this. I'm gonna run through these 7 codes again, and if you in position to write them down, feel free, or just go back to the podcast on one of the platforms and listen to it again. And please share it. Reality, respect, responsibility, communication, negotiation, education, and love. These 7 codes of living will take you as far as you want to go and further than you ever imagined that you could go by using those principles to life. I use them, and when you use them effectively, you'll get the effective responses that you're supposed to get. So thank you all so much for just chiming in with me tonight, allowing me the opportunity to share on a personal level with you all some of these methods, because pay attention to what's going on around us. The world needs you. They need me. I needed to share this with somebody. Somebody need to hear this, because right now somebody's family is in shambles because they don't know how to talk to each other. Somebody on their job is going through something because they don't know how to be responsive, or they don't know how to effectively communicate. Somewhere along our lives and our generation and in our family bloodlines, friend lines, friendships, something is needed out of these 7 codes I just shared with you all. So do not run from it. Do not be afraid to tap into it. If you ever want to know anything, any more about that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Hey, thank you for sharing, coming in and just sitting with me and hanging out on this podcast. I love you all. I appreciate you. Hey, tap into If You Ain't Laughing, You Ain't Living weekly. We'll be dropping episodes week after week. Thank you for the sponsorship. If you want to sponsor this podcast, you can. If you love me like I love you, feel free to go to Jermaine One Right, JERMAINE, the number 1, WRIGHT, the numbers 73 at gmail.com. And you can Zelle, if you would like me to sponsor you, you can Zelle whatever sponsorship you want to do. And we can continue to do business. But I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and thank you for following me. I love you all. You all have a blessed evening. And remember, if you ain't laughing, you ain't living. Peace.